Why, hello everyone. Welcome to the 99 Percenters. This is our March 26, 2023 showcase. Here on the Free Enterprise channel, we have Fiery Blizzard and Saradin playing, and I'm Professor Bender. Joining me is Chuck Ultra. How you doing?
I'm doing good today, thank you. I'm looking forward to
that's-
seeing what the racers are going to do for us today. See what our percentages give us.
Yeah. So we have some interesting objectives here. Defeating Bahamut and the Lunars is fascinating in and of itself. Got a forge going, and the Baron infights. So this ought to be a fun little set here, and we have Tell as the lead here.
And with that, Tell getting us started here, again, there's no end to where they can go. And again, see how many of these objectives they need as well.
Yep, well, we should be getting started in just a little bit. What are you expecting as we get this underway?
I'm expecting some fun. Whether fun for the runners or fun for the viewers, yes, we'll probably get some.
Yeah, we like having fun over here in Free Enterprise. I'll be honest, it's been a good while since I got on the mic here. I think we have someone in the booth with us too.
Might just be Vitasia there.
Yeah. Get this underway. On that note, Mura and Golbez is on the baggins with Yang as our second party member. So we got some damage going here. It won't be much damage to start, but give it enough time, and Yang can really put it into numbers.
I mean, kind of. How's it going, everyone?
Hello. All right, we are immediately heading over to Troya Castle now. We have our free key items just right here. So it's one of the first things you probably would want to do if you have the free key item. We have our Solid Party Rock.
That is the exact thing that you want to see when you do this free key item check, because you can just go right next door and immediately check to see what exactly this Troya treasury is going to have. A nice little 2-for-1 where we see Fiery Blizzard doing the Pauper's Treasury, while Saradin is immediately going into the Treasury proper to see how good we are.
Great Vast Treasury!
Crystal Full Moon Ninja Katana. That's some power if I do say so myself. Cecil is going to be eating real good tonight.
I mean, even beyond that, you have a white shirt, you have a Zeus gauntlet, you have a white lance, you have a black shirt. So if you have a black mage, so yeah, that treasury is a 10 out of 10. Fantastic.
Definitely, and Fiery Blizzard is going to go ahead and look at these shops now in Troya. And Saradin will follow suit. We got vampires and kamikazes here in the item shop and at the hub. Ether 2s, okay.
I mean, frankly, to be the Thor rages there are almost as good as the Ether 2s and anything else. Just there's so many things that those Thor rages can help get you through that it's fantastic to see as well. I just on instinct anymore. I buy a stack of 10 of those whenever I see them, even if they're not necessarily needed, but they're so good there.
Oh, for sure. So after that little haul, Saradin's gonna go ahead and head over to the waterfall cave, the watery passage rather. Close by. And then Fiery Blizzard's just gonna head over to Mount Hobbs.
Yeah, I think I like the Hobbs play. We have enough damage that I think we can get through, especially if you end up purchasing some of those Thor Rages or even Vampires. Between all of that, we have enough to get through. And that's always the challenge here, I think, in Free Enterprise is, getting just enough, equipment and key items and J items really to be able to progress, but not too much. Oh, and we have a nice double whammy here. I mean, we have a nice cane that we have that white spear for, but also a Demas that, on retrospect, maybe not so good because, hey, it's not a free key item, but okay.
Yeah, since we just got our free key item anyway, and it's not even the no freeze is turned on this set, so if anything, it's just some XP, if you really call it that.
I think the real treat here is going to be that cane, because cane with a white spear can do a lot of heavy lifting in this first quarter of the game while we're still in the overworld.
Yeah, and with the Gungear Spear being picked up, this is going to be some money that will help in some way. But yeah, the White Spear being this early on from the Treasury, we've already gotten some power, just not even like, just over 5 minutes in.
Of course, Fiery and Saradin both taking advantage of that early telestart. He's not called an exit mage for no reason. Being able to dive deeper into some of these dungeons to be able to use the exit spell to get some early access to treasure, but still being able to exit out so you don't lose too much time is a fantastic advantage, particularly in the early game.
Definitely. It's something that if you have a Tela in one of your two starting party members, we will take it, even if it means later on you will probably use them as an agility anchor, if depending on if Sea Hero isn't turned on, that is, if depending on on that lead, of course. So Fiery Blizzard will be joined by Soradin. We have a Dr. Luggage.
This is kind of, again, another interesting case where, not necessarily sad to see this here, but there could be a lot more damaging things that you could have here. We do go ahead and it looks like Fiery Blizzard opts to use his Boreas item that he picked up in order to get through that first phase a little bit faster. Probably saves about 10 seconds there. Rewarded with the pass. See, that's interesting because I don't know if he saves all that much time for that Boreas compared to, hey, using it on something else a little bit later.
Yeah, I'm interested to figure out the thought process behind that particular play. But in the meantime, Saradin will take down Dr. Luggage with the pass as well. We are going to be using that one check apparently. Never thought I would see that one.
That was a spicy check, and he is rewarded. That Thunderclaw can do a lot of work, in particular, not only because we have a Young anyway, but that Thunderclaw is capable of doing a lot, depending on the bosses, but even the trap chest, if we're going to be opening trap chests there in the lower tower, those alerts are very weak to thunder physical damage, not so much magic damage. So that's a really nice item to be able to pick up. In the meantime, we have Cecil having coffee with himself, I suppose.
I love that image of just Cecil with his other clone just hanging out in the Barrett Inn. And we need to do this either way because this is an objective. So both of our players will go and do this fight. And then CPU on the Karate Man spot. Okay.
Yeah, orbs. Okay, this isn't tough. We technically have someone who can heal us if we want to, but I don't think there's anything that says this is easy by any stretch. This is going to be a bit of a time sink for both of our runners.
Yeah, it's good to get it out, to have the CPU this early on, despite it being on the Karate Man spot. Just because this could go for any boss too. If the wrong boss in the wrong spot can really give you a rough time. I've had it happen plenty of times when I'm during my potion party practices, but it's neither here, there, or anywhere. As we welcome on in the Raiders from Hossa Morpheus' stream with a party of 32.
Interesting little difference here, and it's very subtle between the two runners right now. We see that it looks like, and I want to just double check here. Yeah, it looks like Fiery Blizzard was still attacking with his Yang. Meanwhile, Saradin was opting to parry with his Yang. Said the damage is not worth the pixels. But both runners get through it about the same time. I think Saradin started that fight a little bit early, so Fiery Blizzard getting through, I think, making some time differential up there.
Yeah, and we get awarded with a pan, which will be nice once we get underground. But more importantly, we've got Cecil.
Yeah, we are immediately going to Mount Ordeals, and we are immediately going to do that because we have a Crystal Sword sitting in the wings, and Crystal Sword Cecil makes everything better.
Definitely, Crystal Sword Cecil is one of the best things you can really get, not just in Free Enterprise, but in the vanilla game. I would probably just go to Ordeals now, just so that we have Crystal Sword Cecil online. Just have Cecil do Cecil things.
That's really the name of the game, is let Cecil do Cecil things. I think that's a good summary of exactly what needs to happen. Crystal Sword Cecil really changes the dynamic of the entire speed run. He does so much damage, and he is such an outlier in the amount of damage that he is capable of doing, that everything else kind of takes a back seat when it comes to damage per second, and when it comes to dealing with everything. It's get him online, have fun.
Yeah, and Saradin, now on top of Ordeals, has to fight an Octomam on the Mylon and Friends spot.
And ironically, there's only a handful of bosses in Free Enterprise that slightly slow down, I would say slightly, but like kind of slow down Crystal Sword Cecil or any sort of holy sword. And that is Mist Dragon, which resists holy weapons, and Octomam, which resists holy weapons. Both of which we've now found. So this is just providing context to the rest of the seed is going to be relatively straightforward when it comes to what our damage output is going to be.
Definitely, it's a good thing that you pointed that out. Just now that we know where Demas and Octomam are, it'll just be, as you said, really quick. Feels like it'll be a lot more straightforward. Probably be quicker fights in the end.
Worth noting here that Renderer is going ahead and equipping the Thunderclaw, going to be doing a little bit more damage. I still think Saradin is going to get through this fight a little bit faster. He started quite a bit sooner. That said, both of these runners are going to be through here quite quickly. And yeah, Saradin finishes things off.
I like how you mentioned me instead of I think Fiery Buzzer. Was that you?
Oh yeah, that's my fault. Look, I just came back from eating a whole bunch of queso. All right, I am still like coming down on an adrenaline high.
Fair enough.
My sorry, renderer.
You're fine. As we do see Baigen on the back attack.
Toshimo asked the question, are Demas and Octomom resistant to Holy because they are scripted to be weak to Dark Knight Cecil for story purposes? Yes, that's exactly it. Both of them are supposed to be weak to the Dark Sword, and it is a dark attack. That doesn't necessarily happen a whole lot in the dungeon, but because this is free enterprise and wacky things happen, all the resistances and everything like that is built in. So yeah, they are meant to be weak to Cecil's Dark Sword, so that makes them strong to holy attacks, which means if you have an X-Scout or Crystal Sword, they're going to not do quite as much damage as they normally would.
Yeah, which is a good thing to point out, because like every weakness and resistance are accounted for, even when the bosses are shuffled. So yeah, so we'll see. At least you're still fighting out this Baigen, and Saradin just took out the Baigen, going for a cheeky. Oh no, I guess not cheeky life, but I thought he was gonna go for a cheeky life switch. I don't know if it was turned on. But anyway,
just 6 HP. Wow, you feel a little bit bad, but we get through it at least on Saradin's side.
Yep, and then just we'll head into the little chamber.
Oh, so it was a Tella start. So Tella's got to find his way through this somehow, some way. Sea Hero with Tella is just the worst.
Yeah, it might be beneficial if you have something like as like a oh, we have the Lethal Gauntlets sitting at the chamber, but I think it could be manageable as for the sake of an agility anchor, but I can't, because since our hero is Tella, and typically Tella can be used as an agility anchor, that might be a possibility, but I'm a little rusty. It's been a while since I played, so I'm maybe just making a false assumption there.
Well, I mean, the real hard part, it's not the agility anchoring or anything like that right now. It is, the one, forgetting that the Lilith is actually an undead character, so you can't vampire it. You have to actually damage it. That's a little bit rough on Saradin's side. And Saradin's leaving. Oh my. You know what? This is really rough because an alt gauntlet with just Tella, not only is it, I mean, you do get a free health refill every single time for every fight, so that's fine. But there's just not a lot you can do without your magic right here. Like, you might want to go find some J items to make it worth your while.
Yeah, and we did see a save from Saradin before heading into the chamber, right? Or did Saradin just go in?
I'm going to defer to our trackers for that. I do think it's interesting. Yeah. Yeah, so we do not know exactly what Saradin did. Either way, this is going to be I mean, it's not going to be terribly straightforward. So Saradin is coming over here and saying, hey, let's go ahead and get some levels. Tella's one of those characters that doesn't necessarily get better with levels, though. So this is, I can understand what he's trying to do, but I don't know if it's going to play out quite exactly how he wants it to.
So Saradin, according to our chats, apparently did not save before heading into the chamber. So Saradin just went for it. And so that means Saradin would have to, should he come back up to Ordeals, would have to go through the entire 3 fights over again.
To be fair, this exact scenario is exactly why, as planning commenced for the spring tournament, as we're looking through the Potion Party and Evelyn Elixir flag sets, when we said, hey, there's going to be Sea Hero, we wanted to avoid Tella, being a hero as much as possible, so we made it so that he wasn't going to be a hero for this exact scenario, because Tella hero, when you don't have access to J items, becomes just too difficult of a slog to get through. Even Fiery Blizzard, and both of these runners, both Fiery and Saradin, have been in this community for a long time. They recognize that this is not worth the time investment unless I have something to help you sweep through. So they're out.
Yeah, and this makes a lot of sense now. With Tella being the main attraction, and you have all the bull gauntlets sitting here, it makes sense just to kind of wait it out, try to find something better, and just get geared up for the next attempt.
Yeah, and I think one of our community leaders, Possum Morpheus in chat, is saying it requires knowing the fights and having done it multiple times. It's something you have to practice. And as someone who's been around since ZZ1, it's not a fun practice, to put it lightly. It's something you kind of dread having to do.
Definitely. And I've only been around since around ZZ4, on and off and on. And I just recently came back to head for do the Evelyn Elixir League. But yeah, I can. This exact situation is it's what I kind of dread, and I try to put as much pressure as I can. But anyway, talking about instead of talking to ourselves, we'll just take a look at what we have here in this Evelyn Castle. We did see glass.
Saradin just picked up the item that is the key to everything. It is a Stardust Rod. That is our key. We are good to go. We're flying immediately back to Mount Ordeals. Yeah, exactly.
And I would imagine Fiery Blizzard would do the same thing. Once he gets the Stardust Rod here, he's gonna bail and head back up the mountain, up to Mount Ordeals, because that will give him the key to get Paladin Cecil online, and ultimately Crystal Sword Cecil.
That's the key, and it really is, and that's the item that I think both Saradin and Fiery Blizzard were hoping to pull, which is why they came here to begin with. They're like, hey, as soon as I find something that can get me through here, and that Stardust Rod was enough. Now, Saradin, unfortunately, has to refight both of those bosses, so it's not necessarily a happy time. That being said, you feel a little bit better about yourself with the Stardust Rod than anything else.
Of note, Saradin did go into the ordeal fights, just going for it without the save. Fiery Blizzard will save this, just as a back end. This is with consideration that he did finish the 2 Mylon fights and then save before heading into the chamber. So he can just go in at any point. So Saradin, hopefully he'll save, because if he were to die during this Football Gauntlet, then that's a lost Stardust Rod.
I think, just as a safety sake, if you know a gauntlet is coming up where you're fighting solo Tello, you gotta save. I think, chat, you can all pray and hope and try to like push him in that direction, but I think Saradin has certainly been around the block enough times to know this is a saving opportunity.
Yeah, and I would imagine this would be the play. And I always save after every fight anyway, just because I am always kind of paranoid. So it doesn't hurt to just double, triple save or anything. But yeah, if Saradin does save, when Saradin saves, it would have to be after this Baigen fight, which he just completed for the second time.
Meanwhile, a Fiery Blizzard is just stardusting away. It says, yep, I'm good. This is 3 fights down now of the 5 in the Alt Gauntlet. So it's really making good time here. Well, as good a time as I think you can in the Alt Gauntlet. It doesn't feel good no matter what you do, but at the same time, you're pretty confident that everyone is having to do this same thing.
Yeah, and so Saradin did do the save. Yeah, this makes a lot of sense, because if there's any better time to do it, it would have been after the Baigen fight, before heading into the chamber with a Stardust Rod in your hands and knowing that you have a Football Gauntlet on the docket.
So I did miss the early parts of this scene. Have we checked the Sand Ruby location yet? Do we know who's lying in bed?
We know, we don't know any of that. In fact, you had joined right as when we started, so.
Talk about good timing, or maybe bad timing, depending on how it goes.
All right, so Paladin Cecil is online for Fiery Blizzard.
Immediately doing the dwarf, getting the dwarf axe so that we are ready to roll and can immediately start back row glitching our Cecil. And of course, why not? Let's start equipping him with all of the best gear.
Yeah, if there's any better time to get your Cecil geared up, it is now. And yeah, we are ready to rock and roll with this Cecil online. And
so where do you go from here? We've done, it seems like we've done a lot of the early checks that are fairly straightforward. I think we have maybe Fabul Defense and Earth Crystal left, and that's about it, isn't it?
Yeah. Since you're in the area, start with the Fabul Defense and then work your way to the Earth Crystal. But it looks like Fiery Blizzard does have other plans, in that being heading to, I guess, Domstian or the Waterfall Cave, just to get this boss check.
I mean, there's 2 bosses to check, and he is rewarded. There is the Bahamut. That is an objective.
Yeah, we have boss hunts in our objectives, so this makes sense to do the boss checks now. And Bahamut just is what Bahamut? That is objective number 2.
That is a key pickup for Fiery Blizzard. That's not something that, different runners have different routes that they do. And if you have a boss check, some of them check it, some of them don't. But that's a significant pickup there for Fiery Blizzard. We'll see if Saradin ends up picking that up. But it looks like he's also checking Kaipo. He's going to check the shops, as well as saying, hey, what's going on with this Sand Ruby spot?
Yeah, this is something I agree with. We are gonna get a Sid from this Sand Ruby.
I mean, okay, we have a Poison Axe. Sure, I'll take a Sid. It's better than an Edward. Sure.
It's better than nothing, really.
You say that, but on the other hand, it's like, he slows down Cecil because I can't swing as fast anymore.
Right, but in any case, Fiery Blizzard will take a look at the shop as well, just to peruse the area, see what you can find. So after this, it looks like Saradin or Fiery Blizzard is just gonna go ahead and take a look at the Mist Cave for the boss check. Saradin heading up to Zot.
I like the check. I like the aggression by Saradin and saying, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to stick to the plan. And Fiery Blizzard finding Mr. Blarg himself, the Wyvern, in the Mist Cave. Happy to see that that's not in our way and that we don't have to do that.
Saradin is gonna pet the flame dog. The flame dog's a good boy.
Yeah, I don't know if what your definition of a good boy is, but okay. Okay, and it's a defense sword. I'll take it.
Yeah, we will take those.
Technically, the best weapon for Kane. Slightly lower attack, but because of the higher hit percentage, overall more damage for Kane until he's like, I think the math checks out to, unless he's level 70 or something, the defense sword ends up being better for Kane than the White Spear. So, fantastic pickup there. Love to see it.
Yeah, and Fire Blizzard will get that defense sword as well. Saradin, gonna check what is on the Magus Sisters. You got a sparkle.
Well, it's not a horrible sparkle. It is just do.
Yep, slow dim is here to slow us down. We just take a little bit of a break and probably just make the ATB kind of a little annoying.
Little bit annoying. Realistically, I think the way you get through this pretty quickly, and we'll see if we see it on Fiery Blizzard side. We aren't seeing it on Saradin's side. Saradin is using every one of his characters right now to attack. Frankly, I think right now the better course of action is to just zerk up Cecil and hold action, because the more turns he gets in, the faster this fight ends up going. So realistically, with Kane and Yang and Sid, with all the other party members that you have going right now, you can attack, but realistically, just maximize Cecil's turns and you're good to go.
Now, Fire Blizzard is also doing the same thing, as Saradin does knock down the Pale Dim. So, yeah, I guess, did he zerk up Cecil? Because he's holding action.
Yeah, the Fiery Blizzard did zerk up Cecil, and yeah, it is now through. So, yes, they're a little bit quicker. We see a Val, meanwhile, on Saradin's side, we see Val is at the Golbez spot normally, but a Kidia is our first encounter, so that's really interesting to see. Another party potential spot, along with a Rosa. Oh my.
A Vanilla Rosa and a Rydia. say, yeah, take the Rosa over the Rydia.
Yeah, if this was a win game, I might be tempted to take the Rydia as well over, say, a Sid. But you got to take the Rosa regardless. I mean, her only weakness is that she doesn't naturally learn exit, and that is fixed from where you found her. So just go with it.
Yeah, and even then, we already have Tella to do the exit anyway, so it's of little consequence. Not to mention, well, the fact that we did get Rosa in the vanilla location. But Ceradan, eventually, Fiery Blizzard is going to have the Mylon and Friends fight.
Yep, good side by side. We'd like to get Rosa up, if at all possible, just to get a little bit of experience so we can run right into something like Dwarf Castle, or whenever we end up getting our access to the Underworld. We want her to get a couple levels so that she's not completely helpless here.
Right. So, yeah, I did ask this question earlier, but what are you expecting as we continue this seed?
Well, I mean, a lot of it is going to be, the prevailing wisdom has always been do your objectives. So I imagine, Fiery Blizzard has shown a penchant for being more thorough as he goes through the seed. So I imagine he'll take fewer risks per se. But as soon as we get to the underground, I imagine that both these runners, we already have the pan, so we're going to turn that objective in. Remember, we don't know exactly how many objectives we have to go until we're done. So there's the hook. That is our likely access into the underground. So I imagine we're going to try to get into the underground as quickly as we can and then turn that pan in. That's the next step that I think is going to take. It's going to take us a little bit. It's 35 minutes in. Both these runners are going in about the same time. Knowing what we know, it's going to be a little bit challenging. I mean, we have not great levels right now in terms of what we have. We can get through it, yes, because through Crystal Sword Cecil, all things are possible, but that doesn't mean we're happy about it.
Yeah, but with that information that Fiery Blizzard did pick up, we're gonna head right over to Domsian to get the hovercraft, and we'll use that to get over to the hook route.
Now, Ceradan is doing something real smart here. He is opting to go ahead and check this boss while he's in the area, which we are very grateful for, because if he would have opted not to check this and not miss out on the Bahamut, that would have been devastating for his run. But he picks it up in the normal run of things, so that's fantastic to see. Fiery Blizzard, in the meantime, says, hey, I know where these other enemy checks are. He's going to go ahead and open these other chests, because he wants some good experience for the rest of his party, rightfully so.
Oh yeah, we need more magic for Rosa, and Cecil. Just getting more power for Cecil, more damage out numbers.
Casting Stone. This is an interesting. Okay, but he gets it. Off-center stone, which is nice to see.
And looks like Ceradan will take the hovercraft over and just gonna go into the hook route.
We did see Ceradan take a lot of these chests earlier on, and it looks like its vanilla location for all these trap chests. So the runners know exactly where they're at. They don't have to necessarily hunt for them. Bacchus and Sirens available in the shop. This is a loaded shop, by the way.
Oh yeah, we were not saying no to a Bacchus and a Siren. That's a grind right there. And also Frey Zerks at any given time.
Yeah, Saradin is like, yeah, that's fine and good. I'm good to go. It is not opening a single treasure chest ever. And hey, that's an Edward, and that looks like a flavor of guards that is going to be trapping us into the underworld. That's an interesting clue, isn't it?
It is. I don't think we take it because, well, we have Cecil sitting right there. So, and also, Kane's also putting in work. Yeah, we're not taking Edward right at this moment because there's not really a spot to put it in the party.
No, and I think this party is plenty deep as is. We have a fantastic. I mean, the only weak point is Tella, and he still has his place, being able to cast Blink and Berserk and whatnot. So we're fine at this point.
Yeah, we're still looking good even with the Tella hero. So it's just everyone, just Tella is just being surrounded by, just good offense. We've got a Rosa that will be building up in due time. And Yang is doing Yang things.
I mean, that's all Yang has to do. He just has to gain levels, punch elementally, and call it good for the rest of the scene.
This Odin on King and Queen Evelyn spot sounds interesting.
It's interesting, but I think we're in a good spot, honestly. We have a Thunderclaw. He is 4 times weak to that thunder damage. He doesn't punch particularly hard, and between that and the Crystal Sword, we should be able to get through here.
Yeah, we should be able to win the damage race for this Odin fight before doing the Odin attack. Oh, but it does come out, and I spoke too soon there.
Yeah, I did not see Saradin equipping that Thunderclaw. I would take some time to equip that. I think he still has it in his inventory.
Hopefully it's in the inventory. But no worries. We'll try that again. And in the meantime, Fiery Wizard will keep looking at the shops after seeing that big shop, item shop, that just over Wolverine entrance in. And there it goes. Just needs a lit 3 and you're good to go.
Meanwhile, no safety save. We're going right into the 2 guards. Right into it. No mutes. These guys can be quite punchy. They're dealing quite a bit of damage right now. Now, we have a Cecil, certainly able to cover. But remember, these guards do counter with various status conditions. So we'll see if we get a mute going here.
Yeah, we are going to go for the stone play, and it worked.
That off-center Tella is hitting everything right at the moment. So He's got 2 stones under his belt, so just tell it things, everyone.
Yeah, just tell it things. And yeah, that was a good stone for Saradin. He'll be through heading underground. And there's the other guard.
Hey, we'll take that. We don't necessarily have the tower key, but at least we know top of tower is relatively free. I still gotta think that Saradin is going to, first things first, turn in that pan, because going through that pan is, I believe, 3 key item checks. Just boom, 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 right away, and it's relatively free.
Oh yeah, it is 3 key item checks. We got the one from the Sylph, and then the 2 Sheila checks. So yeah, and Saradin is heading straight to Sylph Cave. He's gonna turn in that pan right away.
It just makes too much sense between it being an objective, and you might as well do it. We don't know how many we have to do to complete the objective right now, although a couple weeks ago when we announced this, it was 7 to 7. However, it was, so I don't know how likely it's going to be that it's still that many. We'll see.
And we'll see in due course. Saradin gonna turn in that pan. We'll see what we get from this. As Fiery Blizzard is looking to do some trap chests on the trap chest Mad Ogre at the top of Babel.
Yeah, it seems like Fiery is taking things a little bit slower, a little bit safer, trying to get some more experience so that Rosa and Tella can certainly survive it. Problem is, it's a very easy, maybe not easy, but doable fight that they end up facing in the Ruby spot, both in Ruby and Odin. So I don't know. I understand the want to get the levels just in case you find anything nasty, but there's just nothing nasty there.
Yeah, and I get it too. It's a safety precaution in the event something does come up, and even just on the top of Babel, it could just be anywhere in the late game too. That could be really nasty. But in this case, just looking to see if this upper Babel will pose a threat. And as we saw from Saradin, even though Fire Blizzard doesn't know this, this will be relatively free. Alright, so Fiery Blizzard gonna take on this in, as Saradin is now down in the Fey March. Just gonna get healed up, get ready for the 2 the King and Queen of the Fey March.
Yeah, just wanting to get some cures, just in case we're gonna take something cheeky that's done here. But both of these are very doable.
Yeah, we will take those. This will be this won't be that bad for Saradin. Although that I say that, and again, just Karate Man,
Yeah,
just doing a lot of damage there.
yeah. The karate fight. If you have Paladin Cecil, you just got to get him past his second swing. After that point, just hit him. And with Cecil, and he triggers the cutscene of the fight. There he goes. Ouch, and you're done. So it's a relatively straightforward fight if Cecil can live to that point. The problem is Cecil can't always live to that point. You want to set it up to where Cecil is he's in the back row where the amount of damage he does isn't required. It's just he's got to live.
Correct. Yeah, and so Saradin having trouble with the DMs as well, opted into the code to Battle Speed 6 to have some opportunity to get an hourglass out. and but it's a reasonable play because if you're struggling, you're always free to go down to battle speed 6. Just remember to bring it back up to the proper speed that you're on. So Fiery Blizzard does now obtain the Falcon. Will probably follow Saradin through the path that he did leave behind and head into Self Cave to start off. Again, this is very much reasonable because you had a pan early on, and it makes sense to head over here now to get a key item check out.
Shout out to the bottom tier for the raid. Appreciate you coming in here. Saradin does just manage to get Cecil, keep him alive, and is now getting everyone else up. I gotta imagine he's gonna have his Cecil zerked, or we're gonna get another stone play, which could very well happen.
It can very much happen, and he's gonna try and go for this stone play right now. And nails it.
This Tella has been the MVP of Saradin's Seed so far. My goodness.
Yeah, this Tella has been putting in the work with those stones. Gets a package out of the Azura check from the DMs. It's a character.
Yeah, but
it's a long check though. That's the problem.
It is a long check, and who else could you possibly want? You already got Crystal Sword Cecil. You already got two characters that can cast Berserk on him. What more do you need?
Exactly. And if anything, it is a key item, so that that will count towards double XP at that 10 key item. At the important 10 key items, excluding the pass. Speaking of key items, we get a Twin Harp from Sheila 1. Sheila 2 giving up the Darkness Crystal to turn in for the third objective.
So no final crystal when we finish that off, which means, Fiery Blizzard is going to go ahead. We haven't seen the Fabul defense location yet, which is interesting in and of itself. Meanwhile, we have the karate fight that Saradin is on, so he's going to kick and hope that he does not punch Cecil.
It's just waiting it out. There's the hits, waiting out the second attack, and this should be able to go for the hits. We'll trigger the script that says ouch, and he's through. In the meantime,
everyone else is gone, but yeah.
Oh, and but Rat Tail has been acquired for Saradin. But as I was going to mention this briefly, but Fiery Blizzard did find a Dark Elf on Fabul defense, which we have not seen, and understandably so, because we've gotten practically everything that we could have asked for, and we just had not went to the Fabul defense. It was never in our crosshairs, just by the amount of key items that we've been getting.
Well, and it was just some Samurai Arrows as well. So between the Dark Elf and the Samurai Arrows, the Fabul defense has been not worthwhile, but I can certainly understand that the runners, we've cashed in at this point. Happy to do the check, but certainly glad that nothing is there. So 3 down. Looks like Saradin is going to be finishing his third objective as well. But from here, where do you go? I mean, Darkness is available. We have Dwarf Castle. We have Top of Tower. But otherwise, it's looking like Moon may be the way to go.
Yeah, just put your bets on the Moon, and we'll just try and find your key items. and like even get a chance to find your bosses as well, because we have a total of 5 bosses that we could possibly get, or like 5 or 6 bosses that we can get just from this from the moon alone. So I would say just go for it. The D-learners are still out there. You gotta find them. You gotta defeat them. So put your butts on the moon.
Now, it will be interesting to see because Fiery Blizzard completely dodged the Feymarch bosses, while Ceradan did take the time to check those. We'll see if Fiery decides to, hey, it's not worth my time to do the Feymarch, let's go ahead and do the Darkness Crystals, because if that rat tail ends up being something significant that that Fiery Blizzard ends up risks not being anything there, that could play well for Ceradan on his race.
Yeah, and we do see from the first of the Dwarf Castle checks, King Queen Evelyn. So that is a free fight on arguably not a bad spot. Like,
I mean, it's not a bad spot at all. In fact, if King and Queen Evelyn had to be anywhere, you're fine with them being here. You kind of want them elsewhere. You want them in a harder spot up on the moon, maybe. But you're fine with them being there, especially with Cecil able to just outspeed everything to get there.
right. And we'll see what this character leads. As we did see this Golbez earlier, and that was with Alice. We're more interested in seeing what this character is. Even though, yes, our party is loaded up. Let's just take a look and see what it is. It is just a Porum.
Yeah, and we pretty quickly say, now I'm good with the Porum. This is an interesting spot. The magic attack is actually quite low in this particular spot. They didn't want Golbez to be overly challenging. The weak will still hit. I imagine the ray will still hit, or even whiff, but we're going to get through this pretty quickly.
Ceradan did turn in the rat tail, receives a spoon. That's just the key item, I would just say. Edwards is far removed from the team as it is. So I don't see a reason just to go for an Edward just because Spoonmer is just sitting right there, even if it's even on.
That said, Ceradan is doing something that's a little bit unorthodox in that going ahead and say, hey, we got the Twin Heart, let's go ahead and do music, which is a fan favorite, but I can't say that it's something that a lot of our runners would be doing right now when you have, between Twin Harp and Top of Tower. I get the impression most community members would do Top of Tower. Meanwhile, Fiery Blizzard ends up finding the Adamant Rock in Dwarf Castle and is doing Warp Glitch to find the second key item, which is just an apple.
Yeah, whatever. That not really that big of a deal. Just we can. All we really need to do is we don't even need to go into Steel Cave at all. We just need to unlock it. So Ceradan now has made his way down Cave Magnus. He's going to go ahead and start up this Dark Elf encounter. We will be quiet for a little bit once this cutscene or this set of events finishes up. Got some good old tunes from our resident harp player, DJ Spoony B.
While that's going on, Fiery is playing catch up over here in the Feymarch, but you're right, DJ Spoony B is spitting his fat beats. I say with heavy quotation marks. Here we go. Hey, did you blink and miss it?
But we did get what we didn't blink and miss was the fact that we had Final Fantasy VI's battle theme playing as we get a Baron key.
Key item. Gotta liberate Baron Castle for our 4th location. That's significant right there.
Yeah, there is no way you're going to be fading that twin harp. It is absolutely required.
Well, maybe required. I mean, if we don't have to complete all the objectives, I mean, it is an objective and it's a great thing to do. But fading the twin harp is a very popular thing to do in the community overall, just because of the time investment needed to do it. So if we can dodge it, I got to imagine that someone might do that. In the meantime, Saradin says, that is, by the way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's our 10th key item. It's time to do a grind so we can get up to the correct levels to fight Zeromus, just in case we're ready to go.
Oh yeah, this is the perfect time to do it. After you got your 10th key item, and yeah, so yeah, you are right. It's not necessarily required, but it is required for the objective, at least. We may or may not need to go into the harp to get the harp down, but it is on the table. Oh hey, a free siren.
Free siren. Okay.
In the meantime, Fiery Blizzard does finish up the karate fight, doing the script to take out Karate Man quickly. So that will be the Fey March plays presumably done. And just have Saradin just continue this egg grind, and yeah, Fiery Blizzard is done. So we go ahead and exit out. Okay, so Fiery Blizzard, what would be the next play for Fiery Blizzard at this point? Looks like this is going to be a Rat Tail play. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I think he's going to do the Rat Tail, and then from there, based on what I know about Fiery, I think Fiery's actually going to go to the moon before he does Twin Heart. That's just my instinct. I don't base that off anything else other than that, but I think he actually opts to go to the moon rather than do the Twin Heart.
And this especially, and that makes a lot of sense for what our flag set really has. We do have D learners, but it looks like Fiery Blizzard will head into Cave Magnus to get that check going. We'll eventually be getting the Baron Key. And speaking of the Baron Keys, that Saradin is heading to Baron Castle, going to get that objective taken care of.
Yeah, so just ignore me whenever I say I know how Fiery plays, and I've been watching him play for the past few months and talking to him about his play and all that stuff. Clearly I don't know anything. Gosh, Fiery, but you seem like.
Anyway, Saradin, go over the sewer system, of course. So far this has been. The two of them have been following each other's footsteps, with slight variations in how they approach these fights. They've just been in almost complete lockstep. Now, one thing we still have to deal with is this comedy routine.
Yeah, this is good old Golbez is not necessarily something we want to see. And Kane fell back down to earth before. This is kind of a odd spot when it comes to speed. Sometimes you can get a jump off, sometimes you can't. Meanwhile, Spoony D is up for a reprise. Maybe this will last a little bit longer.
Maybe, maybe not. I don't know.
Okay, so swinging from Cecil with his crystal sword calls it good.
That's really it. But Baron Key has been picked up for Fiery Blizzard. Now, I don't know if Fiery Blizzard still wants to follow that in, or just head up the moon. You still have boss checks to do. I would say probably head up the moon as well.
Well, when you have an objective to do, you go ahead and do the objective. So, liberating Baron Castle is going to be priority numero uno, I think, for Fiery Blizzard, just as it was for Saradomin. Because at this point in time, it makes more sense to go ahead and just do the objective. Because according to chat and our trackers and everyone, there's no chance that it's only 4 objectives. A minor chance that there's only 5 of the total objectives. And then the rest of the chance that we have to complete everything anyway. So, what's the mantra of Free Enterprise? Do your objectives.
Yeah, and so I think if anything, I think Firebase would want to do this, do the moon play after delivering Baron Castle. Just at that point, you either find Luca Key to unlock it, or you find or the Legend Sword, or you find the D learners, and you try and find them. You'll probably find them in the moon. That's 6 item checks. Yeah, can't go wrong with that.
So meanwhile, Mom Bomb sitting on the Baron Castle throne does explode on Saradomin. Wasn't able to quite do enough damage to get through. That's a rough spot because it's kind of a weird tweener spot when it comes to the total damage that's possible.
Yeah, but Saradomin doesn't make it through, so this won't be this awful for him. But there's an edge. But again, I still think where party is situated. Yeah, and since we have a Cecil just right there, and Edge is coming in pretty late, so yeah, we're just gonna stick with our party. I think our party is just locked in for Saradomin.
I think for Saradomin, because Saradomin's already done the grunt, I think it's possible for Fiery to pick him up instead of his Yang. We have a couple of Hanzo Steel and Masa and Mura available. So I think the overall damage potential is higher. Now, Saradomin already did his grind, so he's set it. Fiery Blizzard, though, like I said, could pick it up. Oh, hi, Tower Key.
I still think you do the moon here. It is tempting to go and do the tower, but I still think you hit the moon and then worry about tower if there's nothing there.
I think you probably, well, you check this spot. I don't know. I think you still do the tower. Regardless, we have the pass, so whatever ends up happening, we'll be able to come back on the moon, or come back to the blue planet and do it relatively quickly. The key is you're either looking for a boss or a boss and 2 key items, right? Because we have the Adamant Rock, which we know where that is located from Fiery Blizzard side. We do not know where that is because, Ceratin doesn't know where that is. So, I don't know. I think it's a little bit more complicated than that.
Yeah, if anything, I would probably just want to go for just because boss checks are there. Dinos could probably show up there, if just by the dents alone. But speaking of bosses, we have Kainazo sitting at the Odin spots, so just switching places between the Baron locations. So the drill here is just once Kainazo goes to the water, scare him off with Lit. And then until he starts to hide in the shell, and then just that won't be too bad for him. This is doable. I mean, I don't need to say this. Like, we've got a party it's all loaded up. Even if a wave still won't be that bad for him.
Hiding in a shell, and yeah, Fiery Blizzard opts to take that edge over the Yang. Kind of predicted that a little bit.
Yeah, this is more reasonable for Fiery Blizzard, just on the basis that he didn't do the egg grind, and thus still has an opportunity to look for party members just to lock them in before locking them in with the brines. Unfortunately, the Kainazo didn't have anything. It's just an Excalibur sword, which we don't really need. We have a crystal sword, for crying out loud. So it's up the tower, as you would had suspected, just going the tower first before heading to the moon.
Yep, we already know who the boss at the top of the tower is. I would not be surprised to do a cheeky path check. You might as well do both, but I could absolutely see a world where Ceratin checks this particular location and then nopes out. This is, oh god, this is the worst.
Typically, the DM spot is fast, but Water Hag is a scripted fight, so you have to go through the entire script. So you have to hit Water Hag 3 times just to take it out, no matter what the HP is.
This might be, and a survey to the rest of chat. I want to know your opinions in chat, guys and folks. This might be the worst spot for Water Hag in the entire game, because normally it's a one-shot, you're done, and instead you get this weird 3-hit scripted fight. Yeah, I think this is the worst spot for Water Hag, bar none.
Yeah, it's not a fun spot, period. It's just because of it's artificially slow on this spot. But anyway, that is a Water Hag completed. And we already knew what the spot is in the first place. We know this is just the Baron soldiers. Just the sprite just looking at itself.
Olive Tower is just free. Free as can be.
Yeah, it is free. Granted, the Super King has always it has a distinction for being whatever boss it is, just free no matter what. But like that one, it was just more of like you kind of wish it wasn't free. But here, this is no doubt about it free. So Fiery Blizzard is going to go ahead and fight Chinazo. And once again, we are seeing this pattern where, ever since believe that near the start of the game, we've had these two runners just in lockstep. Just some of the checks may be a little bit in different orders, but it all just comes back to being in lockstep.
Yeah, I would say, as a general rule, Fiery Blizzard has probably been more thorough in terms of making sure he's safer and at higher levels for the most part through all of that. But those levels that he got didn't necessarily translate into what he wanted to see or what he was looking for. And they haven't necessarily translated to easier fights. So while he spent time doing that, Ceradan has been slowly kind of building this, for lack of a better term, a straight line lead, because they have been in lockstep and checking everything together. Just Ceradan's about half a step to a full step now ahead of Fiery Blizzard.
Yeah, and this was also bolstered by the egg play. Just after seeing after getting the 10 key items, this was enough to for Ceradan to say, okay, we're just gonna lock in our party. We're good. We don't have to. We're not in our party mode. But Fiery Blizzard, this is playing a bit more passively, I would say, had the opportunity, had not locked in the party and chose to go for the edge, where Ceradan didn't bother to do it because the party was locked in. And here we go again with Fiery Blizzard also being in lockstep. And yes, but the tower itself, not anything of note.
Well, now Ceradan is going to get to check Dwarf Castle, which is the one location that I think Fiery Blizzard has done over Ceradan up to this point in time.
Yeah, but this won't be that bad. If anything, mostly just Ceradan just cleaning up some checks that were left in the underground before heading up the mountain, or the moon rather. So, as Ceradan takes on the King Queen Evelyn, Fiery Blizzard will do the Officer Soldier. I still think you have the lead. I think Ceradan still has the lead here. At least, well, for not like a lead, but just like a proverbial lead, just based on what we've been seeing.
Yeah, if for nothing else, Ceradan has already done the grind. So none of the bosses up on the moon should pose much of a challenge right now. So we're at 4 bosses right now, and we have to unlock the sealed cave, we have to forge the sword, and we have to defeat the D Lunars. Frankly, if you're any of these runners, you're hoping that the D Lunars is the first fight that you end up seeing at the first location that you end up checking, because then you know if it's 5 objectives that you have to do or 7. It's one of those 2.
Exactly. And yeah, so Ceradan has finished up the Dwarf Castle after defeating Vivalis. and Fiery Blizzard will have to go through the painful water hag fights in the context of where this spot is at. But that is the Super Cannon completed here. And Sarah, go ahead.
Pepita asking in chat, objectives equals crystal. Not yeah, this is not a win gain. It's win crystal, I think, for this one right now.
So there's the Adamant Rock for Saradin. And we are now all in parity with, in terms of our key items between our two runners. And Saradin is heading over to... Okay, just doing some boss checks. That's fine. So we did see this from Fiery Blizzard earlier. We know we knew this was a wyvern, so we can ignore that. And Fiery Blizzard is gonna head over to the moon now, and Saradin is right on him.
So these two, despite an hour and 20 minutes of going just in totally opposite directions, never crossing paths, do eventually cross paths and are summoning the lunar whale at the same time within 10 seconds of one another. This is that's just amazing. Just thinking about how much both of these runners have diverged from one another and never being in the same place at the same time.
And so now they're neck and neck with each other at this point. Just after the consistent amounts of lockstep that we've seen from Saradin and Fiery Blizzard, with Saradin leading charge, we've now properly met up together, and they're going to the moon simultaneously.
Rendiver, where would you start here? Do you like a top down or a bottom up run in this position?
In this position, well, I would start. I guess go bottom to top. Just run down the LST and then work your way up. And that's how I've done it. I don't know. You could. There is merit for top bottom. But I mean, right now, both of our runners are going to head into cave value. So just for the boss checks alone, we do see the Antlion in their natural territory.
I wasn't aware that the moon was the Antlion's natural territory.
Always has been. And right away, Antlion just is not one, had nothing to do with Edge nor Tella. And Saradin has met up with Fiery Blizzard. And we'll see how these two fights go for these two runners.
Both of them have the same parties. They have two blink casters if they can survive. Swinging melee, though, is not always the best because you do have those counters. And, I mean, other than that, jump from Kane, which certainly bypasses the counter. But otherwise, it's a little bit difficult. Lots of damage being pumped out here from both the party members and from Antlion himself. This is a kind of punchy spot, in case you didn't notice.
Now, the only difference between these two parties is the fact that Fire Blizzard took the edge over the Yang. And that's the only difference. Fire Blizzard does make it through. And we'll get a Gunnegear Spear, but that's just it. We'll take it for the XP, though. So now Fire Blizzard is gonna head down to the LST proper. Just go to the LST, either top bottom or bottom top. I think bottom top is fine. It's really subjective of what you it's really subjective of which route you take here.
Well, I think it's the age-old question in random, right? In any randomizer, do you route for optimism or do you route for pessimism? If you route for optimism, you're thinking, hey, all I have to do is find the D lunars and I'm good to go. And you find them and they're at the top, and then you get the crystal. If you're routing for pessimism, though, you're thinking, okay, I have 3 things that I have to do. Let's go do the most dense locations. Not necessarily the one that's in front of my face the fastest. So I think if you're an optimist, you think that you can possibly get go mode from this Mura altar early on, and you go do that. I think if you're a bit of a pessimist, or in this case a realist, because let's face it, the numbers is saying this is going to be a 7-7 seed, you recognize that you're going to have several checks that you have to do, so you go for density, and that's at the bottom.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Fire Blizzard's gonna do. It's gonna head down the LST, gonna work from the bottom up, and Saradin will also head to the LST. I mean, again, these two are just close by to each other. The only difference was that Fire Blizzard had a much faster fight compared to Saradin, and I don't have to mention this already, but this didn't need to be mentioned. But Palom's here. We're not needing it, obviously.
Yeah, quick kid, you're about an hour late, man, before you were useful. Sorry.
Yeah, there's no quick kid for tonight, so man, and Tala has been putting in the work. We got a better black mage right here.
And it does look like Saradin is also going to be doing the lower into the basement of the lunar subterrane. So both runners that we see on stream are going all the way to the basement, hoping to find D-lunars, as well as maybe finding a legend sword, as well as the Luca key.
Ooh. Okay. That's Maga Sisters on the Ribbon Room. So we're gonna have to deal with Delta attacks for a little bit until we take care of some of these Maga Sisters.
So Fiery Blizzard just tried to do something really interesting. He tried to equip the Rune Axe and then equip the Avenger. The thing is, you can have the Rune Axe equipped at the beginning of the fight, equip the Avenger, and it will maintain the properties. But if you switch your weapons mid-fight before you equip the Avenger, you need to spend a turn attacking to lock in those stat changes before switching to the Avenger will actually lock that in. So he went from Rune Axe to Avenger, hoping that he's swinging for Rune Axe damage on these sisters, but that's not quite how it works, Fiery. You need to get one swing in if you're not starting the fight with that Rune Axe.
Either way, as one of the sisters down, we'll have to take care of Cindy to prevent a accidental Mega Sisters ride. But yeah, it's some good information to know if Fiery Blizzard were to look back at the VOD. But there goes the Mega Scissors.
200,000 experience. Fiery certainly. Think about it was only about 4 or 5 minutes, but think about the time that Fiery spent continuing to progress through the seed while Sarada did that grind. We're now at pretty reasonable levels at the moment.
Definitely. And we did find a pink tail from the Ribbon Rune. It's another key item. Even though we don't really need to worry about key items at this point, just because we already have double XP. Just worth noting.
Yeah, just one more thing that we don't have to worry about, just getting it out of the pool. Now, I mean, here's the thing, all of the key items that we have left, we have Magma Key, we have Luca Key, and that's it. Like, there's, and Legend Sword, of course.
Yeah. 2 of those are needed for an objective, that being Legend Sword and Luca Key. Magma Key, it's just so that we can just do the thing where we say, hey, we can go underground.
Yeah, I don't play that meme anymore. I got burnt out. That was one of the very few memes in this community that I got burnt out on very quickly.
Fair enough. Anyway, Saradin is going to head into this evil wall fight that was originally pulled by Fiery Blizzard.
You get the sense Fiery certainly has this under control. His Cecil is not taking any damage to this and does get through. Oh my.
That's a Luca Key. We have an objective ready to go.
It's an objective. So here's the real question you ask yourself. You're already up here on the moon. You already have you're already checking here. You're deep in here. You don't know if it's a 5 of 7 or a 7 of 7 objective, because this is one of the mystery seeds, that you're running. That objective will not give you a key item. We already got it. So that could be your go mode, or you might have to do 2 more things up here.
Yeah, and it looks like just Fiery Blizzard is still just gonna continue to go here, because I mean you're still up here in the first place, and we have a Vanilla Ogopogo.
I mean, this isn't so bad. We have a pretty melee heavy party, which isn't fantastic, but at the end of the day, all we have to do is keep ourselves healed up, and it's pretty straightforward. As long as you're not casting spells at Ogopogo, he doesn't counter with the blaze or anything like that. This isn't bad. So, and as I was talking about a second ago, Saradin making the play, saves Scummings and says, hey, we're going to go ahead and go do Luca Key right now, because if it's only 5, this is it. This is go mode.
And this play makes a lot of sense. Just you either just go for it and you just discover that it's 5 objectives. Cool. And if it's 7, that's fine as well. And there's our Magma Key, so we can go underground now. But Fire Blizzard doesn't want it.
says, nah, I got my levels. I don't need any more HP. I need items. And that's it. Oh, it was only 5. We unlocked it, and there's the crystal. Ceritin's in go mode.
This play paid out dividends for Ceritin now in go mode. All we have to do now is go back up to the LST, go through the pass, and take out this Z fight.
Yeah, this is it's the Z fight. That's all we get, and we are ready to go. So for those of you, I mean, we're good. Wow, I'm surprised we aren't seeing any Z flags in chat. Chat, you guys are a little bit behind. I'm trying to say. Oh, there they are. Thank you.
There we go.
So, what do those Z flags mean? No, it does not mean it's nap time. It is not nap time. We are Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise. We are a randomizer community. We like to randomize things. We randomize the songs that Edward plays. We randomize everything. The one thing we cannot randomize is Zeramus, because Zeramus has a few too many things that are going on in his HP pool and his abilities, and the Big Bang and the Antlion Cave would be absolutely horrible to experience. So, what do? Since we can't randomize Zeramus himself, we randomize his true colors when we use the crystal on him and he reveals his true form. There are more than 600 different sprites available for Zeramus to transform into, so that Z flag is simply a question: whose butt are we gonna kick tonight?
And we have follow-up questions, as in, is butt cute? Does it have a hat? Can it help me with my 401k? Is it Turing complete? And more importantly, in the name of the moon, we shall punish whom?
All of the questions that are asked. It's really the Z flag is every question and no questions all at once.
All right, tonight's Zeo sprite is... Oh, it's Bartz from Final Fantasy V.
That's not Bart's, it's Butts, clearly.
Well, you know what I mean.
Butts.
Translations. Anyway. So, this is just going to be a power overwhelming fight. This just have Cecil go all in on with the Avenger sword, locked to the Crystal sword. Just have him punch. Bucket Swine coming out for Yang. Kane will also be zerked up here. Now it's just a matter of the HP, all the healing going to our mages.
Meantime, Fiery Blizzard does find the D-Lunar, so this will be his go mode as soon as he finishes this D-Lunar fight. Will be rewarded with the crystal, and then a little bit of a kick in the pants going, I had that.
Yeah, this ended up being instead of making the call that it was neck and neck at first, but then Ceritin with the play just making it work now. And hey, Terrasar D-Lunars. I mean, I guess we did see it originally, but that just got taken out.
Yeah, looks like setting up the save. He originally had the Avenger on, and little known fact, those D-Lunars have a script. If you just fight command, it will be a bad time. So you do not want to fight. You want to set yourself up a little bit before you do that. In the meantime, Ceritin is certainly working through this Butts fight. The way he's set up at this point in time, I don't think we're even going to get a second Big Bang. There's a lot of damage being pumped out right now.
Oh yeah, this is just a just punch hard, punch fast. We don't care at all. This is fine.
Yeah, this is going to go very, very quickly. Also, Prof NES, don't worry if you're new here or not. In fact, all of the community, don't worry if y'all are new here or not. This is one of the most welcoming communities out there on the internet. Feel free to ask any questions that you want in chat, or join us over in our Discord. Ask us questions in the newbie corner or in any other place. We are getting close to tourney time, so now's a fantastic time. This is a special tournament that is set up to accept all skill levels, because it's a team-based event where there's a lot of folks that needs to be kind of newer to join the team. So feel free to join us over on the Discord and be prepared for some fantastic potion party, Eblin elixir goodness that's going on. But with that, GG Saradin.
Yep, GG's. Snap, Crackle, and Pop has been done. Zero Mess has been defeated. Saradin will be taking second for the official time of 1:39:33.
Yeah, GG's to Saradin on this 99%ers. Not quite first place, does get second place, but good job, Saradin. We'll check to see if he's available for a quick chat.
And as we say that Fiery Blizzard has taken out the D-Lunars, is going to head back down to Earth, or to the blue planet, and take out the Z fight. Going to be squaring up with Bartz in just a bit. And here is Saradin in the booth with us. GG's and well played. Oh, once we get Saradin gone.
In the meantime, while we're trying to get Saradin, Fiery Blizzard does opt to say, hey, I'm already down here. Let's go ahead and stop and turn in this rat tail, or this pink tail, for an extra adamant armor, because why not? We're going to have Crystal Sword Adamant Cecil swinging at this Zero Miss. You thought Saradin's Z fight was fast. I think Fiery's going to be even faster.
Yeah, this is Crystal Sword Adamant Cecil. Cecil is going to do Cecil things. More Cecil things. Hey, Saradin, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Okay, GG, and again, congratulations on this completing this city.
Yeah, this was a weird one with that start on ordeals. Lost about 10 minutes to not saving between bosses.
Yeah, this was something up to note too, because Fiery Blizzard also had dealt with the same thing. Oh, you're good.
Okay, try again.
Yeah. Can you hear us now?
Yeah, that's much better.
Yeah,
Sweet.
I was just gonna mention that Fire Blizzard had dealt with the same thing with the Tella and the Fabul Gauntlet. The only difference between that was that Fiery Blizzard did save prior to going into the chamber.
Yeah.
Whereas you just went in.
Yeah.
Just went in without the save.
That was
on all three fights.
I figured it was fine, and that was the only thing that could punish me, and it was there.
Walk us through your mindset after you go through that, because that's always that's a little bit devastating as a speedrunner. You get through there, and I'm not going to call it a mistake because I think it just kind of happened. But what was your mindset, and then how happy were you to see that Stardust rod?
Oh, well, so at that point, like, the time's gone already. I have to figure out how I'm getting through that because I already had the Crystal Sword and Zeus Gauntlets lined up for Cecil, so it's just like all my power is locked behind that. So my options were to go hunt for a Stardust Rod and some trap chests, or to go shopping and see if I could find, like, Stardust items or Gaia drums or something like that. So I figured I would try Evelyn first and see if that turned up with anything because the treasury was so good. That it felt like the treasure was going to be my better option. If nothing had turned up in Eblin, then it was shop time and see if I can go find some Jai items to get through it.
Yeah, but the common thing that we noted throughout this entire race was that you and Fiery Blizzard were in lockstep with each other. You were doing the same checks. It was just that that you were ahead of Fiery Blizzard, just because Fiery Blizzard was playing a little bit passively just to try and find something to work with. But whereas you had locked it, you ended up deciding to lock in your party with a egg grind and just going for just aggression all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference that was just right around near the end, where when you two met up to raise the lunar whale at the same time, and what made the difference was that you opted to try and go for the safe scum of the Luca key, and ended up being rewarded in the process by finding out this was 5 goals, it's 5 objectives that, as opposed to 7.
Yeah, when we don't know how many it is, you have to try that every time. The ace thing this week ended up being a 0-1 win game. So it's just like, you got to keep that in mind for these flag sets. When you don't know what it is, you've got to be willing to save scum that and see if you get paid out.
I'll let Padesha just handle, give some questions, so if he's got any.
Yeah, tell me a little bit, because the game seemed to throw all the power to you, and it was just kind of sitting there. You mentioned a little bit with Crystal Sword Cecil, but let's talk about the rest of the early game. I mean, the White Spear Kane seemed to get you online pretty quickly with that Earth Crystal as well, and the scene just, like, the gear was nice and easy after that early Earth Crystal. It was just finding the party members to get there. What did that affect your routing at all when you're going through this?
It did. So it gave good stuff for Kane and Cecil and Edge. So, like, all of those 3 would have been fantastic to find early. So went to go check Waterway to see if free characters were on, because if they are, then you're probably going to find 1 or more of them real fast. So then it was, their free characters are not available. Let's start checking the character spots. Go to Hobbs, go do Antland on the way out, and then go check Baron Inn to see who's there. And we got rewarded with the Kane and the Cecil. So kind of prioritizing the character checks there.
Also, I should want to point out now that Fiery Blizzard has taken out Zima's GG's to him. He will be finishing 3rd with a time of 1:46.24. GG's out in the chat. But yeah, all in all, very good, well run by you, Saradin. How, if you got any final thoughts, go ahead and just speak your mind.
No, I think that's about it. But thank you to the Restream team for putting on the show. It's always fun to do these.
I'm glad to hear that. Okay.
Yep, and GG's to you, Saradin.
Thanks.
Okay, we'll see if we can get Fiery Blizzard in to join us here. And speaking of which, Fiery Blizzard is here in the booth with us. GG's and well played to you.
We'll agree to disagree on that one, but thank you.
So I guess I'll let Levitation lead off first.
Well, I mean, I think there's a lot of we're going to talk about a lot of the same things. Let's first start off about that Mount Ordeals. It wasn't ideal by any stretch, but you opted to nope out of there. Walk me through your feelings as you were doing that.
So first off, I said right before the race in the race room that I did the ready comment. I was like ready for Mirror Room Alt Gauntlet Hero. So glad I cursed that into existence. No, my thought process was I have 2 vampires that will get me through almost everything but exactly an Alt Gauntlet at the Mirror Room. So of course I was there, and then I was like, I don't know how this is gonna work because I had no jams on those sword rages, and I was like, I don't know how far I can get away from this, and eventually I did die. It's like, well, you get a full refill at the end of each of those fights in the Alt Gauntlet. So I'm like, if I get through fight 1, the others are fire 1, you can do that pretty easily. Died there, and I'm like, okay. The fact that I got Earth Crystal from Bedward was an odd thing, because I don't normally do that as my first check. Let me go to Eblin, because there seems to be a number of Stardust Rods there whenever I fade Eblin early. So, as I was getting towards the end of Eblin, I was like, I haven't picked up a J item other than I think a Zeus Rage at that point, or a Lip Bolt. And I'm just like, if this doesn't turn out to be a Stardust Rod, I'm going to Watery, because there's no way I'm not going to go Ordeals when we have a Crystal Sword from like minute 1. And so, yeah, it was just going to be hunting for a Stardust Rod, and if I had to walk through the entirety of Watery Pass to find it, or some J items, I was going to do it. But luckily, there was that Stardust Rod at the very end.
Yeah, that was kind of the interesting point. Both you and Saradin, not quite at the same time, but very similar to one another. Both of you bounced off that Alt Gauntlet there in the Mirror Room, because Telehero is such a joy for everyone in every possible way. But you both bounced off at about the same point in time, and you both found the Stardust Rod at about the same point in time. It was a really interesting match, because you were both doing very similar things. And when you weren't doing similar things, you would go and separate and do different things, and then would converge together to the point that you were launching the Lunar Whale at the exact same time.
Which was way too late to be doing that, but at the same time, I was counting, and I was like, by the time I had gone through Turtle, or I was attempting to refight Turtle, I was like, there's still enough key items out there in terms of K-Bane and K-Summon that K-Moon wasn't guaranteed. Because there were 4 dead ends and 4 checks left. And so I was like, I'm going to kill this turtle. I'm going to do, and even when that turned out to be a Zonk with an X-Cow, I'm going to be like, I'm going to do the 2K main checks. And then once I exhaust literally everything on the blue planet besides the package boss, I'm just going to raise the whale. And apparently go the wrong direction. But that's, yeah, there was a faster way for this seed. I think Dave found that. But at the very end,
Dave and what he does.
Yeah, I mean, this was a seed that Joe were playing it. I don't want to imagine what time he would get on it. But I mean, yeah, D Lunars at Mura feels bad because it's a fight that didn't get any easier by going for the seed, because it's Crystal Sword Avenger Cecil, or even just Crystal Sword Cecil. So it was a little bit of a feels bad moment. I didn't really want to play for Rec 5 at the end there. It's a small chance for it to happen, and it's already happened, I guess. Sunk cost fallacy here. It's already happened before, Gambler's fallacy. What are the odds it happens again? Well, it's exactly the same, and it happened again, but it's like, I know Forge is up here in the moon. I'm going to stay until I hit Forge, and then I'll check if Sealed Cave finishes that off. But that's the fun of mystery. You don't know how many objectives you have to complete. Sometimes you complete all of them. I was really tempted to drop the Magma Key down the well, and then I realized I reset out of that Ogopogo. So there was no Magma Key throwing down a well.
Yeah, that was really the time difference. You actually got that Luca Key a little bit ahead of Saradin, So when Saradin opted to go and turn that in and was rewarded with the crystal, it was, we lost it a little bit here. It was a very close race, all things said, and that is, you're right, that is the beauty of these mystery seeds, not knowing exactly when the end is coming.
Yeah, it would have been one thing if I went Moon before, say, doing Tower or Baron Basement, but just the fact that I knew Forge was up there really made me stay there. If it weren't for that, I probably would have checked Sealed Cave if I didn't know that. But no, I mean, like you said, fun and mystery. Honestly, other than that, the seed was pretty nice, other than there are no adamant armors anywhere. Or actually, we didn't pull a T8 at all from any of the trap chests. I looked for them. We had that crystal sword from the treasury, which was nice for sure. But other than that, it was pretty lowish tier trap chests.
Look, you went into Aziramus with an adamant equipped crystal sword, Zeus gauntlet Cecil. What more do you want, man?
4 more adamants, so that Tella would have been RA5 to everyone else. So everyone would have been RA1, and I wouldn't have to parry around.
Spoiled. These kids are spoiled today.
No, it's great. I feel like that's sort of my go-to. I'll just open up all those trap chests if it's vanilla traps, right? That's the caveat. If it's vanilla traps, it's easy enough to go find them. Normally I also do Toad Lady, but we didn't have a good way to handle Toad Lady other than it taking forever. But I mean, I'm glad that it was a nice and close race between Saradin and I on Restream. I hope it was fun for everyone to watch.
I mean, I had a blast. I can't speak for Professor Renderer because he had to deal with me coming in late and by a half minute and stumbling over myself. But I think everyone else had fun.
Don't worry about that. I mean, I covered like the start of it. I had a good time. It was a fun race. Definitely, there's some things to learn and studied from this. Yeah, it was a fun race overall.
Yeah, I'm glad, because this is the last restream of 99%ers because the tournament is starting up. So glad we could put on a show. But I do.
Yep. Go ahead.
I do want to thank both you, Professor Under and Vitasia, for stepping in, commentating, Zelda for tracking, and of course the wonderful Scala Kitty for restreaming. Really couldn't be done without you guys. So with that, I am going to go make myself some dinner. So I hope you all have a wonderful night. I'll see you next time.
Take it easy. And this will do it for us as well. And Eddie mentioned too, this was the last of the 99%ers before the start of the Evelyn Mixer League, Elixir Lead. There will be 2 more community races after this on Monday and Friday. So stay tuned for that one before we wrap that up until we get started with Evelyn Elixir League. And speaking of the Evelyn Elixir League, we are going to now turn it over to Dr. Kozak, who is doing the practice for the league. So you know the drill. Don't spoil everything, or you risk Scala bunking you with a newspaper. So yeah, thanks for watching, and without further ado, here's Dr. Kozak.